pay it back.
So once again, my question to you is that the information that I'm asking about is the people that back home, you're saying were eyewitnesses to this?
How could people back home be eyewitnesses to something that happened in Vegas? No, that's not what I'm saying.
The people that were here in Las, listen to my question, sir. The people that were here in Las Vegas, you're telling me were eyewitnesses to what happened and went back home. Is that what you're telling me?
I'm telling you, the people that was at 666.
Just answer my question, sir. Yes or no?
I can't
Is it
answer
a
that
yes or no?
without a what you call it. You trying to tell me to say something that you're not going to understand. If you let me explain to you.
No, answer my question.
I'm not answering nothing. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay.
Okay, Mr. McDonald, focus for a second.
I am focused. Very focused.
Focus on this. My question to you is this. You didn't know what happened that night because you weren't there.
I was at 662.
Right. Do you know who was there?
I know everybody that was there.
Okay. Like who?
Talk to your lawyer, man. This dude is tripping. I'm not going to explain that. I can't answer that.
Okay. Let me ask you this next question then. You are telling us that people back in Compton, for some reason, knew what happened here in Las Vegas.
A phone conversation. People found out when people left Las Vegas the same night Tupac was shot, went straight back to Compton. It only takes 3.5 hours to get home.
Sure.
Yes, it wasn't a problem for people to find out what happened. No problem at all.
They got on their phones, they texted people, they let them know what happened here on the night of the shooting?
Yeah. They had walkie-talkies, they had all kinds of phones. They had ways to call people to say whatever. But when people left Las Vegas that same night, after they found out and got in their cars and went home because it was a situation, Pac was shot. Okay. Retaliation is a mug. Come on, man. It was for real, for real. All of this was for real.
Now, the night of the shooting, did you have a walkie-talkie, a Nextel thing or something like that?
No.
Did Reggie Wright?
I don't know what he had. I don't know how much money he had in his pocket. I don't know what he had on his hip.
But you were the head of securities, but you're telling us you did not have any type of device.
Right way security has nothing to do with the gangbanging security, power rules, whatever you want to call it. They had nothing to do with us.
Okay.
The phones that Suge had for certain individuals, they had the phones. Like the guy that was bodyguard for Tupac that night. Like some of the guys that was at the Tyson fight, like Suge Knight. Certain individuals had phones. Yes, they did.
Okay, so, all right, I get what you're saying. You're not there, but you're saying other people were.
Yes, I'm saying there was a lot of people there.
A lot of people were there at the shooting that took place.
That was in the entourage, yes.
Let's see. Okay, just one final question. You're here today, and I think the state had asked this question under a subpoena. You're ordered to be here today, right?
Yes.
In terms of that subpoena, for instance, is that's the only reason why you're here is because of that subpoena?
I don't have no other reason to be here.
Yeah. In order for you to get that subpoena, you were served that subpoena back in California?
Yes.
By a police officer?
I don't know. He was in uniform.
Okay. And that order required you to go to a court in California?
I had to go to court and pick the bill.
And then that court in California said you have to show up here.
And in that court, I cussed them out and told them, you can't make me do nothing.
Right.
And in that court, they told me that I would be in attempted court. Me raising my grandkids, I'm not going to put my grandkids in the car and move somewhere so y'all can't find me. So all that running and living a different life, I ain't doing it. So I agreed to come. And like I explained to everybody in here, you ask me something, I'm going to be honest about. You ask me something I don't want to talk about, you're going to have a problem. Treat me as a hostile witness. You're not going to talk to me and tell me as a grown man what I have to do up here. I'm not going to send him to prison. You are.
So the accusation now is because of the fact that we're trying to ask you questions, you're blaming it on me.
You asking me questions. If I just answer your questions, we going to have a problem in here, a misunderstanding. And you're asking me something that wouldn't be good for him.
Right. And once again, I just want to, look, we're just trying to figure out who shot Tupac. You're telling us that you weren't there to see it. That's all I want to know. At the end of the day, that's it. Right?
Was I in the entourage when Tupac got shot? No.
Okay. Nothing else, right?
I was at 662. I mean, that ain't hard. That's easy math.
No further questions, John.
Anything further, State?
Here are the 5 whistleblowers that died in the most suspicious circumstances. Number 5, the ChatGPT whistleblower Suchir Balaji. Balaji helped build ChatGPT and went on to accuse OpenAI of breaking the law to build it. I think we all know they did that one. 8 days after he was named in the case, he was dead, 26 years old. He worked at OpenAI for 4 years, quit, and then went on the record with the New York Times. Now, on the 18th of November 2024, their lawyers filed a list of people holding unique and relevant documents in the copyright case against OpenAI. Balaji's name was on that list. Then he was found dead in his San Francisco studio apartment with a single gunshot wound. Officially, it was ruled that he took his own life. But his parents have never accepted this story. In fact, they hired a former FBI agent, commissioned their own autopsy, and they say that it found a bruise on the back of his head. Although, to be fair, they never released this autopsy. Number 4 is Karen Silkwood. She died while driving evidence to a reporter. So Karen made plutonium pellets for Kerr McGee in Oklahoma, and she testified to the Atomic Energy Commission about how sloppily they handled these dangerous radioactive materials. Then that same contamination she was talking about shows up in her own body and all over her apartment. In November 1974, she left a union meeting with a folder of documents, and she was on her way to a New York Times reporter. She never arrived. Her car was found crashed into a concrete wall, but the folder of evidence was not in the wreck, and it has never been found. The union she was a part of found this extremely suspicious, so they hired an investigator who found skid marks and a fresh dent in her rear bumper, although the state ruled that she fell asleep at the wheel. Sure. Number 3 is John Barnett, who died on the 3rd morning of testifying against Boeing. So John Barnett spent 32 years in quality control at Boeing, and while he was at the 787 Dreamliner factory in North Charleston, he found that the emergency oxygen systems weren't deploying. So Boeing's own research unit tests 300 of them, and 75 of them failed. That's 1 in 4. He reported it internally, sent it up. Boeing did not care, so he went to a regulator and sued Boeing for retaliating against him. In March 2024, he spent 2 days in Charleston giving sworn evidence against Boeing. But then on the 3rd day, he didn't show up. They found him in his truck in the hotel car park, dead from a gunshot, ruled self-inflicted. 2 months later, the 2nd Boeing whistleblower died as well. His name was Josh Dean, 45, healthy, had the same lawyer, although less suspiciously he was killed by a sudden infection, but it was sudden. Number 2, Frank Olson. Frank was a US Army scientist who wanted out of the CIA's biological weapons program. Olson, having worked on that program at Camp Dietrich, had seen what they were really doing, which, if he wanted to leave, this made him a problem. So in 1953, Sidney Gottlieb, the man who ran MK Ultra, spiked his drink with LSD, and then 9 days later he was sharing a 13th floor room at a hotel with a CIA officer called Robert Lashbrook. At 2 in the morning, he threw himself through a closed window with the curtain still drawn, which is a very inconvenient way to take one's own life. But trust me, it gets weirder, because police found Lashbrook sitting on the toilet with his head in his hands, saying that he'd been asleep. But the hotel switchboard operator says something else. She says that she'd listened in on a call made from that room just seconds after Olson hit the ground. On this call, Lashbrook said, "Well, he's gone," and the other voice said, "Well, that's too bad," and they both hung up. But then in 1994, Olson's son had the body of his father dug up because he didn't buy the autopsy. So the autopsy in 53 said that his face was cut to pieces by the glass. When they dig the body up, there's no cuts, but there is a gaping hole in his skull. The examiner said it was rankly and starkly suggestive of homicide, meaning murder. Number 1 is the most terrifying secret society looking shit in the world. But before I get to it, if you like this kind of content and you want to just help me out, see more, please just drop me a follow. It really helps me make these. So number 1, a freelance writer who believed he had found one enormous conspiracy linking the CIA, stolen government software, and half the scandals of the 1980s. He called it the Octopus. That's why in August of 1991, he was driving to Martinsburg of West Virginia to meet the source, and before he left, he told his brother that he'd been getting threatening phone calls, and that if anything were to happen to him out there, it would not be an accident. Very ironic words, because that same day, he died of a horrible accident. The next morning, a maid found him naked in his hotel bathtub with his arm slashed 12 times. 4 cuts on one arm, 8 on the other. Of course, it was ruled that he did this to himself, and his body was very quickly embalmed, and the hotel room was scrubbed with industrial cleaner before his family even knew that he was dead. And every single file that he owned, that he traveled everywhere with, was gone.
So if you've been around, I told you how Iran was with it. They released all the black hostages. They released all the black hostages and said, we don't want to harm no black people. America does not treat the black people well, and all the black people are welcome in Iran. So there's something going on with that. Iran, they must know something. You know what I'm saying? They must have some idea, because think about it like this. Why is there so much hate towards the black man, towards the black woman? Why? But then we got Iran over here saying we wouldn't harm the black man, the black woman. We love them. What's going on here, y'all? What's going on here, y'all? Somebody give me an answer in the comments here. What's going on here? Do they know who we are? and know who we really are, come talk to me about it.
Well, what does this mean? We've been asking. Is this legit?
بسبوس عاشق بسه ويدلعها بسبوسة بسبوس عاشق بسه ويدلعها بسبوسة يلحقها من بيت البيت ويقول اعطيني بوسة.
This is why Iran released the black Americans hostages and refused to release others. So in 1979, university students in Iran held 66 Americans hostage. This happened in U.S. embassy in Tehran. Iran leader then checked the hostages and found out that there were some black people. So he stated that he was going to release 13 people, 13 black Americans, and he was not even asking for anything. The main reason why these people were held hostage is because U.S. Gave asylum to their king, the King Mohammed. Iran was not happy with this person because he did a lot of things, a lot of bad things in Iran. He violated human rights and also he was unaliving people. But U.S. Gave asylum to this person, and they wanted this king to be returned back to Iran to face consequences for what he has been doing. But USA was refusing, and this is why they held hostage 66 in the embassy. The Iran leader said the reason why he is releasing the black Americans only is because he stands with the oppressed. He said that the black people in USA, they are not treated fairly. They are oppressed in USA, and this is the main reason why they were in Iran. And he wants them to feel safe in Iran. He doesn't want them to suffer in Iran. He wants them to be welcomed in Iran.
This is Jackson County District Attorney Angel Myers McGilcraft. And I can't tell you how unusual it is for a sitting district attorney to make the following statement I'm about to show you. Now, as you know, this is the district attorney in Jackson County that will be reviewing and submitting the evidence in the Nolan Wells death investigation to a grand jury. And while everything she says about how the system runs in Mississippi is true, it is strange to hear a district attorney take to social media and say the following. Let's get it.
As District Attorney for the 19th Circuit Court District of Mississippi, I want to talk directly to the people of Jackson County. Our community is grieving the tremendous loss of Nolan Wells, who is loved and treasured by everyone. Nolan's family deserves answers, and our community deserves answers. Every death in the county, except those of natural causes and non-criminal car wrecks, are presented to your grand jury. Many people don't know that. We have handled death investigations in this manner my entire career. Nolan's case is being handled the same way, with the same care and the same commitment to the truth that we handle all death investigations. I understand the public's urgency to know what happened to Nolan, but we are not taking time for time's sake. We are taking the time required to complete the work this investigation demands. Since Nolan was reported missing, local, state, and federal law enforcement agencies have worked around the clock investigating what happened to him. Every piece of evidence must be examined. Every credible lead must be followed to its conclusion. Every witness interview must be analyzed in context of all other evidence. The pressure for answers does not change what the work requires. Our responsibility to Nolan and our community is to complete this investigation thoroughly, carefully, without compromise, supported by the evidence and worthy of the confidence of the people we serve. I also understand that many people have questions about why more information has not been released publicly. In Mississippi, the rules of professional conduct restrict the information a prosecutor can release during an investigation. Our restraint in communicating facts and evidence is not an effort to keep the truth from the public. It is an effort to protect the integrity of this investigation in the grand jury proceeding. As your district attorney, I have an ethical obligation to avoid public statements that could influence witnesses, prejudice a proceeding, or compromise the fairness of the legal process. My obligation extends to and requires me to use reasonable care to ensure investigating agencies avoid making those statements and releasing information as well. These rules exist to protect the search for the truth, not to prevent it. As divided as the discussion surrounding Nolan's death has become, I know we all want the same thing, to understand what happened to Nolan. With that being our shared goal, we must also share in the goal of protecting the integrity of how the truth is discovered. If we sacrifice the integrity of the process in effort to satisfy today's questions, we risk undermining the confidence in tomorrow's answers. When the public asks, what about this, or have they looked at that, or did they think about this? The answer is yes. Those are the same questions investigators ask. The difference is that we can't publicly discuss the evidence, the interviews, or what those efforts have uncovered while the investigation is underway. Again, our restraint in sharing details of the investigation is not a refusal to share the truth. It is our commitment to protect the process that allows the truth to be known with confidence. There's a lot of information out there, and there is a heck of a lot of misinformation out there. I simply want the community I serve to know that this investigation is being handled with the care, professionalism, and commitment to the truth that every family in Jackson County deserves. As we continue this important work, Nolan's family, his friends, and all who loved him remain in our prayers.
And as someone from Mississippi, once again, I cannot stress to you how strange it is for a sitting district attorney to take to social media and put out this kind of statement in accordance with any open investigation. Just gonna leave this right here. Let me know what you think.
Hey, how everybody doing out there? Sorry about this little glitch I got with the camera. I'm trying to get everything set up straight here. I'm having a little communication problem with it, but we gonna get it together. Yeah, we're gonna get it on together. But I want to welcome everybody. I want to welcome everybody to Fearen Fear Files, where we're looking for the questions and the answers to everything, and we question everything. All right. What I got here is a little bit of that little opening was Tupac's trial. You know what I'm saying? Well, I want to see what was going on with him, and with the case and all that. But we got so a little bit of Nolan Wells case, and guess what, y'all? You think that you are in control of your life? I think not. Allegedly, the government is in control of our lives. What if that's real? You know what I'm saying? But let's find out. I don't know, but we finna find out if the government has control of us. All right, let's get to it.
All right, so there's a little baby girl down there in Mississippi. Got hung, right? Y'all heard about it. Just recently, she was in her 30s, young girl, beautiful little baby. Hung that baby in the backyard, goddamn tree. Of course, you know they ruled him into suicide. There's another brother I just saw, gave an interview. Crackers were beating him up in the fucking woods. First of all, why the fuck you out there in the woods with these motherfuckers anyway? They were finna hang him, but thank God there's other white folk out there that stopped them from fucking doing it. So, brothers, listen to me, and black women too. Why are y'all so fucking hard-headed and don't listen? Why? When you gonna fucking learn? Why are you getting caught out here in the middle of fucking nowhere with these folk? Why are you going into the woods with these bitches? Why you getting on boats with these motherfuckers? Why is you going fishing? Why you going hunting with your white buddies and shit? Man, listen to me. I'm so sick of hearing about this shit, man. I use this shit to draw brothers. Brothers, we need it. Where the fuck you at? I'm going to the range this weekend. Atlanta. What's happening? Boys, pack up your shit. Let's go. Let's go train. Let's go shooting. I don't give a fuck about nobody or nothing but us. So black folk, let me tell this to you. Y'all better start paying attention, man. Y'all niggas better start fucking listening. You better start fucking listening. You better start listening to what we tell you. Because you don't know it all. Stop fucking around with these folk. And there's a bunch of coons out there too, a bunch of white sympathizing ass niggas out here too. I can't stand y'all motherfuckers. You don't even understand how much I despise y'all motherfuckers. Y'all motherfuckers eat these white folk ass, boy. I'm talking about lick them all tween they goddamn crack. You just lick them the fuck up. Boy, I cannot stand you. And I'm mad at us because you got real niggas like me and like so many others that are speaking out, stepping up, doing what needs to be done. And then I'm steadily seeing all these fuckboys ignoring it. This 2026, talked to some brothers the other day. Man, there ain't none of this was going on. You're a fucking lie. Niggas like them is dangerous. How do you not know what's going on out here in this fucking country, in this fucking states? How do you not fucking know? Nobody can claim ignorance. No one can claim ignorance. It's 2026. Nobody can say they ain't know you because you're a fucking lie. You choose not to do anything. You choose to stay inactive. You choose to be scary as a motherfucker. Stay the fuck away. Don't ask me no more. Listen to me. Gay boys, I apologize to you, but I don't. Don't get on here asking me, do we protect gay men? Fuck no. Half you motherfuckers strong as fuck, and you can beat the shit out of any straight man, most of you can. I respect that strength. Y'all niggas be having to fight. I get it. So you gotta stay strong and strapped up. Protect your goddamn self. You understand? It is what it is.
Central heating is a black woman. You know, the security system is a black woman. Stoplights, Garrett Morgan, and the gas mask. You got the elevator, the escalator. You got the radiators, two black men inventors. You got the sanitary pad, Mary Kenner, Jack Daniels. That's finest, the nearest. And you got that. You got the inventor of the ice cream scoop. You got the George Crumb, the potato chip. Right? You have the laser eye, Dr. Bass, she just passed away, laser eye surgery. You got Gladys West, who was the GPS. GPS was Gladys West.
And even too the internal for losing weight, bypass the phobia, gastric bypass. Dr. Phobie, oh man, like my sister.
Though he's a kind of a, he got with the Trump administration. Ben Carson separated Siamese twins by the brain, the only one to ever do it.
Ben Carson's place in black history is
the greatest pediatric surgeon ever. He has a book called Gifted Hands, which Cuba Gooding played in a movie. You got that. There's another little kid that just invented a surgical tool. There's another Ethiopian kid that invented a soap that can cure skin cancer. It's on and on and on and on, dude.
But this is the type of stuff that I love, because I'm going to clip all of this.
Vaccination. Vaccination was a Nigerian slave in Boston.
Vaccination. So, we used to variolate, right? African people used to variolate. They take a little pus from a smallpox scab, and they variolate the young. Edward Jenner, the doctor who invented the smallpox vaccine, had been variolated when he was a kid. So he took the idea and said, hey, I will do that with cowpox. Vaca is cow.
Means cow,
Vaca means cow. So he took the pus from some of the cowpox thing, and he started variolating people with it. Then he took it added some stuff to it, and came up with the smallpox vaccine. And after 100 years later, smallpox eradicated. It might come back now because they don't want to vaccinate anyone. But what I'm saying is that invention is black people. That's African people that figured out a way to live with their natural world. There were different versions of it from all over the world. Some people did something called insufflation, where they would smoke the scabs. That happened more in the Orient and stuff like that. But that was African people, to your point. There's records of enslaved people variolating their masters because smallpox was running rampant. But that invention that changed the world gets synthesized by this English white guy, but not invented by him. That was people that over time had figured out how to exist, live in their natural world. That's your technology.
Granville T. Woods. Tell him. Roller coaster. Come on, man.
Yeah, he knows.
Roller coaster. He won all his patents back because Edison was trying to steal them all.
And you want to like Granville T. Woods, quote unquote, the Black Edison. It invented electric roller coaster.
That's right.
Think about the times that we're in.
Yeah.
We're talking about the late 1800s, early 1900s. Sued Thomas Edison and won. Right? A legitimate genius, like 7 feet tall.
Yeah.
Like
I didn't know he was that tall. Dang.
Tall, like
They
a
always show his picture always show that little half picture.
legitimate genius. I remember when I learned about this guy, I was like, yo, man, how in the world have I not seen this guy's story? They gave us Madam C.J. Walker, which they did way too late. When you talk about entrepreneurship,
First millionaire.
When you talk about that type of, they gave us that. But how do I not know about that guy? I know that, Benjamin Franklin flew a kite and electricity hit the kite.
We always believe
and the whole,
in our book, like a slave kid did that. No Benjamin Franklin went out there.
When you look at that story, the movie hasn't been made. Edison versus Woods, which is just the courtroom drama about fire. Which is just the courtroom drama about this guy.
You gotta go make that before somebody go try to make that, man.
I mean, if they did it, I would be like, me and Corey talked a little bit about it. If they did it, I would be happy with it just to see it on the screen. I don't have to get it. But
that would be.
Those are the types of things, and those people are out there.
Yeah.
They are. So I understand what you're saying. I would love to expand the scope. But we got to play the hits.
They got to play the hits.
Okay. That resonates with me because you get to a certain point, you go, because you already know it's working, it's proven, and it works.
I always wanted a Gerald Lawson. I would like a Gerald Lawson who created the first home video before Atari, before Nintendo. It was Gerald Lawson who made home video. It's called the F1 series.
That made the Super Soaker.
Oh, that's Lonnie Johnson.
He's
still alive.
Still alive.
They finally gave him his money.
You know what I mean? After all of
I'm
those
into black inventors.
So there's a movie called Flash of Genius. And this movie is about the guy who invented, legitimately, this is a movie with Greg Kinnear. It's a good movie. The movie is about the guy who invented the intermittent windshield wiper. So the windshield wiper apparently you should just go like that. And I don't know what you had to do with it. Maybe you have to
reset it.
Whatever you have to do with the
reset it.
wiper. But he invented the intermittent windshield wiper. It did like this. Okay? A revolutionary invention that you don't think about that guy. The movie is so fascinating because he invents it. Obviously, they try to steal it. He sees it on a brand new car. This is the part where he's walking in the rain. He's in Detroit. He sees it on a new Mustang. They all sitting up there. He's in front of everybody like, I invented this, the whole nine. He fights them. He loses his family, basically. He fights them all the way throughout the 80s, and then he finally wins. But he fights them for his invention.
Right.
For
where can I find
it's
this
called
movie?
Flash of Genius is the name of the movie.
Was it a white inventor?
Yeah, he was white. Greg Kinnear plays the guy. So what I'm saying is think about how the story of that thing transcended the name of the guy. I can't remember his name.
Right.
We just don't get that. With the shit that we invented, even.
Hey, it's always good to hear how black folks have created things, man, and you know they took a lot from us, man. You know, they put us in slavery, man, and allegedly, you know, so and took a lot of things from us, but we have a lot of great inventors that come from our lineage. You know what I'm saying? But let's keep on moving.
Watch this. Don't go nowhere.
If I right now decided that I wanted to play Monopoly with you, and for 400 rounds of playing Monopoly, I didn't allow you to have any money, I didn't allow you to have anything on the board, I didn't allow for you to have anything. And then we played another 50 rounds of Monopoly, and everything that you gained and you earned while you were playing that round of Monopoly was taken from you. That was Tulsa, that was Rosewood. Those are places where we built black economic wealth, where we were self-sufficient, where we owned our stores, where we owned our property, and they burned them to the ground. So that's 450 years. So for 400 rounds of Monopoly, you don't get to play at all. Not only do you not get to play, you have to play on the behalf of the person that you're playing against. You have to play and make money and earn wealth for them, and then you have to turn it over to them. So then for 50 years, you finally get a little bit and you're allowed to play. And every time that they don't like the way that you're playing, or that you're catching up, or that you're doing something to be self-sufficient, they burn your game. They burn your cards. They burn your Monopoly money. And then finally at the release and the onset of that, they allow you to play and they say, okay, now you catch up. Now at this point, the only way you're going to catch up in the game is if the person shares the wealth, correct? But what if every time you share the wealth, then there's psychological warfare against you to say, oh, you're an equal opportunity hire. So if I played 400 rounds of Monopoly with you and I had to play and give you every dime that I made, and then for 50 years, every time that I played, if you didn't like what I did, you got to burn it like they did in Tulsa and like they did in Rosewood, how can you win? How can you win? You can't win. The game is fixed. So when they say, why do you burn down the community? Why do you burn down your own neighborhood? It's not ours. We don't own anything. We don't own anything. Trevor Noah said it so beautifully last night. There's a social contract that we all have, that if you steal or if I steal, then the person who is the authority comes in and they fix the situation. But the person who fixes the situation is killing us. So the social contract is broken. And if the social contract is broken, why the f do I give a shit about burning the Football Hall of Fame, about burning a Target? You broke the contract when you killed us in the streets and didn't give a f. You broke the contract when for 400 years we played your game and built your wealth. You broke the contract when we built our wealth again on our own, by our bootstraps in Tulsa, and you dropped bombs on us. When we built it in Rosewood and you came in and you slaughtered us. You broke the contract, so your Target, your Hall of Fame. As far as I'm concerned, they could burn this bitch to the ground. And it still wouldn't be enough. And they are lucky that what black people are looking for is equality and not revenge.
Listen, if you listen to what that woman said and it bothered you, you're the problem. Because everything she said was pure facts. Now, we live in a country where people look at black people, us, and say, oh, you're violent, you're ghetto, you're ratchet, without even knowing us as a person. They just assume it based on this. That's like us looking at a bunch of YT people and saying, oh, y'all live in trailer parks. Oh, you like riding big trucks and riding in the mud. Every person we saw. It's a stereotype. Stereotypes should be gotten rid of, in my opinion, because you can't look at a person and just assume they're that type of person just because of their skin color. Nobody want to talk about it because it is what it is when it comes to that. Nobody gonna take our side. Nobody gonna say, well, they experiencing all of this. Oh, they just making all this stuff up. They're just in their feelings. They're just violent people. That's what they say. Now, I tried to put a video out, right, yesterday of this racist white dude talking, right? And I edit him on the video. So basically, so he can see my video talking about what he was talking about. And guess what? Community guidelines because of what he was saying. But his video is still up. Make it make sense. I tried to talk about the different cases of all of the black people being, you know, hanging from trees, swing, you know what I mean? I try to talk about that. Community guidelines. But I see a bunch of other videos up about the same subject. There's so much going on, even on social media, where they see what we're talking about and instantly it's a guideline. It's a community guideline based on what we can put. Just try it out. If you think I'm playing, put black and put black pride in whatever you're going to talk about and watch how they do your video. Watch how your video be brought down to where it ain't getting no traction based on the black and the black pride being in the video. Just test it out. You think I'm playing? There's something going on, and I'm telling you right now, it's obvious now. This video might not even get pushed because they not pushing certain videos talking about certain things. Even if it's not against community guidelines, they just go, I can't even appeal them. Even though I know I've read the community guidelines top to bottom because I make videos about conspiracy. So I need to know the guidelines and what I can talk about and what I can't talk about because my page can get banned way easier than somebody just talking. So I need to know the community guidelines and I know them. So I know everything I've been talking about, I can talk about it, but yet I keep getting community guidelines. Some just not right.
Now to a story we have been covering a great deal at News Nation, that of the 12 missing or dead scientists. One of them was researcher Amy Eskridge, who before her reported suicide claimed she had been the victim of a directed energy attack inside her Alabama home. Directed energy weapons fire concentrated energy at the speed of light, and for years, intelligence officials working abroad have reported brain injuries known as Havana syndrome. The condition could be linked to directed energy weapons, but now there could be a domestic threat too. Our next guest has been looking extensively into these weapons and has spoken to people who say they have been injured by them. Take a look.
Have directed energy weapons been used against U.S. government personnel?
Absolutely.
Mike, you did is that
there's something wrong with them?
Well, just in the clip you and he had to move into assisted living in his 60s because he had this Parkinson's like syndrome. He was a classic case of the brain injury progressively getting worse. It was that because they were defective and they were politically biased as well. And those assessments said that it was unlikely a novel weapon or a foreign adversary was responsible. And that is not backed up by the intelligence and the evidence.
So for those who say they were injured, are they able to get help with their injuries? You just mentioned he had to move into assisted living, but clearly there's damage here, brain damage.
I've spent 25 years doing a lot of accountability reporting, especially with veterans, intelligence officers, military personnel, active duty. I have never seen such a case of government cruelty in my entire career. You have people who raise their right hands to defend this country, some of the most capable and brightest people we have. And then when they get attacked and they get injured, they're told that they're crazy. It's all in their heads. And they're being gaslit on a level that I have never seen before. And there are absolutely cases where they have been denied access to health care and to treatment that would have made a difference to the progress of these injuries.
So Americans hear this and say, you know, this is horrific, but it's something that's happening overseas.
And that's not correct.
You've investigated a lot of this, and you found that there are domestic attacks as well. Can you tell us more about that?
I think one of the most worrying things I'm seeing in my reporting is that it's no longer isolated to overseas. People talk about Havana syndrome in 2016. It's kind of a foreign thing. What I've been able to document in the last year as an independent journalist is multiple cases inside the United States. Earlier this year, a Space Force veteran went on the record about 5 attacks at his home in Northern Virginia, which also affected his wife. She was collateral damage. And if there's a common thread to all these cases, Katie, it's that all of them seem to have a portfolio that in some way touches Russia. And that is really the third rail in this story.
So in terms of, the story about the 12 missing scientists, there's obviously, each case is different, but they all have very similar aspects to them as well. The case of Amy Eskridge, for example, she died allegedly of a self-inflicted gunshot wound, but she claimed before that she had been hit by a directed energy weapon in her home and that she experienced burns. And based on what you're telling me of people who are victims of this being told that they're crazy, there's nothing wrong with them, do you think that she maybe would have had a case?
Well, I think I would need to have more information inside of that investigation. But I think this idea that there aren't domestic attacks and that they haven't targeted civilians is just not correct. It's not borne out by the evidence. And again, the trend that I'm seeing is that the cadence of attacks inside the United States, I think, has escalated. My information is only anecdotal, but I do believe that the 4 years under the Biden administration where we said there's nothing to see here, there's no novel weapon, there's no foreign adversary, I think this was a tremendous disservice and emboldened those who are behind it.
So what kind of weapons are we talking about? Is this something that someone wears that they can walk up to your house and then walk away? Are they built into a room? I mean, how would you carry out something like this if you were a Russian asset, allegedly, or someone else who has this technology?
Well, based on my reporting, there seem to be multiple types of weapons. I think what I'll call the old school style weapon are weapons that are built into the infrastructure. Many of the people that I've spoken to say they were attacked in hotel rooms. They were essentially had their brains kind of fried overnight. I mean, that's the simple explanation. Others describe a portable device. I've spoken with people who say that they were hit at the executive office building just next to the White House here in Washington.
Wow.
Others who say it was in suburban Washington, other parts of the country. And these aren't people just talking. I authenticate and I look for receipts. In virtually all of these cases, they have receipts. They have the type of injuries that you can only see with a directed energy weapon. I have some new reporting which certainly suggests that there is another iteration of this weapon. Maybe I'll come back when I have a little bit more,
absolutely.
but I can tell you it's the most frightening element of this reporting so far because I think it will be very hard to defend against.
All right, well, Catherine Herridge, you're one of the best, and we're grateful to have you and look forward to your reporting, although maybe a little terrified. Thank you very much. Great to see you.
And look, this has been going on for over a dozen years. Go home. Get out. We know our country's better than yours. That's because we filled it with our work ethic and our culture and our values. You being here only dilutes it for us, those who built it and live it. And half of you people, more than half of you, won't assimilate. We don't want you. We don't care if you're offended. Get out. Go home. Go back in Haiti. Sorry. I'm thinking about our friends in Ohio who've been dealing with these TPS Haitians for years now.
Build shit. You didn't build a fucking thing, bitch. I don't think you could build a bear at Build-A-Bear. You didn't build a fucking thing. There's no way I can respond to this in a short video. This is so fucking crazy to me. Enslaved black people from South America that the border crossed, they didn't cross the border crossed them. Indigenous people, like, I don't know, Native Americans, those are the people that built this fucking country. Immigrants built this fucking country. All the fucking white people that are like, oh, I have stake in this country. We built this country. Our culture and everything like that made America what it is today. Y'all niggas are fucking immigrants too. Y'all niggas are from Ireland, Germany, England, Britain, whatever the fuck. Y'all niggas are from Europe. Y'all niggas are from, y'all are fucking immigrants too. And most of y'all didn't build shit. Megan is some fucking spoon-fed basic white bitch that is riddled and fucking privileged. Talking about we built this car. Are you fucking kidding me? Acting like she laid the fucking railroads her goddamn. Megan, you didn't build shit, you racist bitch. I cannot stand these fucking mindsets where they act like there's just this alternative dimension history book that they read and everybody else read some straight up bullshit. Y'all did not build this motherfucking country, bitch. It's that simple. It's that simple. Racist, non-racist, Republican, Democrat, white, black, it don't fucking matter, because the fact of the matter is white people did not build this fucking country. I don't give a fuck about what your opinion is, what your viewpoint, your mindset is. A fact is a fact is a motherfucking fact. 2 + 2 = 4, bitch. Water is wet. I'm a whole ass nigga, and white people did not build this motherfucking country. A fact is a motherfucking fact. What are we talking about, bro? It's the same way that stupid Athena bitch had the audacity to make a video talking about, oh, well, it was actually African black people that sold their citizens into slaves and they started slavery and then white people fought to free the slaves. Bitch, what the fuck? What? How do y'all just skip over history? She said that dumb shit. I'm gonna tie this bullshit together for y'all. The same way Athena said that, oh, well, black people started slavery when they sold their citizens to fucking Europeans, and that's how slavery started. Stupid bitch, stupid bitch, stupid bitch. Africa is a motherfucking continent. Africa is a big ass, large ass motherfucking continent. She heard about one instance of where one kingdom in Africa sold some of their citizens into slavery, and her brain said, oh, this instance of one kingdom on a large motherfucking continent doing this helps me push my agenda. That is to minimize the pure inhumanity that was American slavery and slavery as a fucking whole. So this is what I'm gonna put in the spotlight. While she ignores all the African kingdoms that fought against the fucking European invaders as they came in and stole Africans to force them into slavery. She said, no, I can't speak on that part of history because it doesn't help me push my fucking narrative. So I'm going to put the kingdoms that sold their citizens into slavery in the spotlight because that helps me push my racist agenda. It's the same way Austin Metcalf's dad got on that motherfucking live and said, oh, well, all this racist stuff is just victim mentality, because he literally said, because we brought y'all over here and then fought to free your asses. How the fuck do you fight to free somebody who you bought and enslaved? Motherfucker, they wouldn't want freedom if you hadn't bought and enslaved them. How the fuck do you fight for somebody's freedom after you bought and enslaved them? How the fuck do you free somebody that you also fucking enslaved? Bitch, they would never need freedom to begin with if you hadn't fucking enslaved them and forced them to build what? This motherfucking country. How are all these racist motherfucking white nationalist people just ignoring history? Megyn Kelly, you did not build shit. Not a motherfucking thing. I don't have a full autobiography on this Megyn Kelly bitch, but I bet she bought her fucking house. You didn't build your home. You didn't build the fucking roads you drive, whatever car you drive on. You didn't build the grocery store you go to. You didn't build the bullshit boutique store you get your fuck ass clothes from. You didn't build the fucking doctor's office you go to. You didn't build shit. That's like if my father built a table and then somebody else came and sat at the table and I say, hey, you can't sit at this table. I built this table and it wasn't built for you. Do you see how fucking stupid that is? I didn't build the motherfucking table. My dad built the motherfucking table. And if my dad, who built the table, said that this person can't sit there, I want to know why the fuck he said they can't sit there. It's a fucking table, isn't it? What's wrong with them sitting at this motherfucking table? Why the fuck did you build the table if you didn't want people to come sit at the motherfucking table? I cannot stand when motherfuckers look at one instance that helps them push their racist ass agenda, like when a black person may rob a gas station or steal something or unalive somebody, and then they'll ignore all the other beauty about the black race and say, see this one instance here, see this crime that this black person committed, they're all like that, and it helps me push my racist agenda. But then they'll completely ignore all the crimes and disgusting things that white people have committed. Also, while they completely ignore all of the beautiful accomplishments that black people have done and all the beautiful things that black people have built. The things that don't help them push their racist ass narrative, they're completely blind to it. And as soon as they see something that helps them put some type of logic behind their racism, while racism is rooted in illogical things, that's what they want to put in the fucking spotlight. She's sitting there talking about, oh, it's happening in Ohio. We're talking about the dogs and cats shit again. Megan, come here, Megan, stupid bitch Megan. You didn't build a fucking thing. Your family is most likely from somewhere in Europe and they were poor as fucking shit. And they came over here on a fucking boat as an immigrant to America to try to find a better life. Everybody talking about, oh, 250 years of freedom, 250 years of liberty. They killed 90% of the indigenous people. Indigenous meaning the people were already here. They committed a large-scale genocide to birth this motherfucking country. And y'all are acting like European white people been here the whole time. How the fuck have European white people been in North America the whole time? They wouldn't be European white people, would they? You stupid bitch. Man, this shit don't make no fucking sense. You can't even call black people immigrants. Y'all drug us across the fucking Atlantic Ocean. What the fuck are we talking about? If things had gone in a humane way, I would probably be somewhere in South Africa riding a fucking antelope, juggling vibranium or some shit. Too fucking bad y'all drug my ancestors across the fucking Atlantic Ocean. And now I exist in America hearing all this, we built this bullshit. Y'all niggas didn't build shit. Y'all talk about hard working to achieve them all up and deport them? Dry skin ass crusty shit. You go, huh? We talking about, bro? Everybody here, every bitch, everybody here. So, God, man, y'all niggas so fucking dumb, bro.
If you have a problem with Miss Rachel, you have to understand that Miss Rachel is not the problem. You are the problem. And I don't think I need to say this, but the reason they mad at Miss Rachel is because she is telling the truth. Matter of fact, look at this shit.
Please listen to the black community. Black people don't hang themselves from trees.
She spoke out about the Nolan Wells case. Look right there. We know the investigation and everything that followed would be different if Nolan Wells were white and his friends were black. Nolan and his family deserves justice. They got mad about that. And now, every time we open up our phone, they're saying another black person is hanging. And then right after that, they say it was no foul play. So basically what you're saying is that these black people are continuously, you already know, I don't need to say it, but she knows. That's why she said this.
Please listen to the black community. Black people don't hang themselves from trees. There's been at least 7 black people found hanging from trees.
And if you don't know about Miss Rachel, then turn on YouTube. You'll see that Miss Rachel is one of the biggest educators on that platform. Your nieces and nephew know Miss Rachel. Your grandkids know Miss Rachel. Your kids know Miss Rachel. And the way she's standing up for black people, your kids need to continue knowing Miss Rachel. Don't let them cancel Miss Rachel. A lot of people get upset when white people use their voice to stand up for black people. And honestly, it's not even a race thing. She's just telling the truth. She's saying the quiet part out loud. And the quiet part is the truth. She's not afraid to say the truth. You have to remember, nobody's not paying her to say going to watch Miss Rachel.
My future grandkids are going to watch Miss Rachel. That's just it. I'm out.
Block is added to the block. AI right now is high mention, and y'all knowing me by now, I got the thinking. Right? So if you just look up the definition of oracle, a person or an entity having divine wisdom, prophecy, or some type of divine insight. And by the way, it's one of the biggest software companies on earth right now that was ran by the CIA. So keep that in mind. And last but not least, we got CERN. I think everybody know about CERN. Now, when I just mentioned these names, every one of these names, they all dealing with some type of space, dimension, or another world. And it's not me doing no conspiracy theory or none of that. They named their company this, not me. Now look at this. This is the internet. It was launched in December 1969 by 4 universities. It was built by a Pentagon agency called ARPA, A-R-P-A. And this is on DARPA's D-A-R-P-A website. So again, we're not talking about conspiracy. We're talking about public information and strictly facts. So yes, they are behind the thing that we on right now, the cell phone, the internet. Now let's fast forward to today. We got Neuralink, which is Elon Musk's company. And right now they could put a chip in your head that could wirelessly control a mouse. We made the research possible. Now they got a network in somebody's mind, a network in somebody's skull. By the way, did you know that the numerical value of W in Hebrew has the value of 6? If you type in www, what you type in right now is 666. If you don't believe me. But anywho, that's neither here nor there. So in 2002, this same agency built this. This their logo. And at the bottom, you know what they say? Knowledge is power in Latin. This is a real government logo. Like, it's really on their website. Go check it out. And you know what their mission statement was? To get information on every single body. Credit cards, internet, everything. So when the public seen this, you know they got the freaking out, just like we all should. They took the image down and created another one. Then 11 years later, a guy named Eric Snowden, he came out to expose them. And this is not the first time that the government been caught doing weird stuff. Look up MK Ultra. So MK Ultra was a CIA project where they did studies running from 1953 to 1973. And what they was doing was giving people LSD, training people on spiritual remote viewing, electroshock treatment, even putting people under hypnosis. And when the public found out, they burnt all the files. Again, this ain't conspiracy, this all public information. And now the government is building the last piece, blockchain. And if you don't know what blockchain is, I'm pretty sure you guys know what Bitcoin is by now. It's a digital currency. Bitcoin is ran on blockchain. And what blockchain do is it log and tracks every transaction in the world. So if I spend digital currency, it'll come back to me and go through different servers around the world to verify my transaction. So every digital dollar will be tracked and logged, what time, so on and so forth. So what this mean? This means that at a flip of a button, bro, or at the push of a button, however they do it, they could turn your money off. And bro, the stuff that I'm talking about, it sounds like conspiracy or it sounds like theories, but nah, this is actually happening right now. China already launched theirs. The European Central Bank is already putting one in the works. And then our Federal Reserve already got something in the works as well. Jesus clearly talks about this. Revelation 13 say we won't be able to buy or sell. To me, that's referring to the blockchain. So when it comes to our money being just a digital number, how far are we really from Revelation 13? Oh, my government won't do that. My government is a protector, a provider. Fam, we gotta look and see what America is really built on. This is the Washington Monument. And this the Egyptian obelisk. Even the Vatican got one, right in the middle of St. Peter's Square. You got the pyramid, you got the eye, and the same thing that was on the DARPA's logo. So you tell me, what's the coincidence? Did y'all know what the Pope said this May? This man stood in front of the Catholic Church telling them folks that he rejects nothing that is true and holy, that every religion is under one God. And that's what he said, right from the Vatican, standing right in front of an Egyptian obelisk. And you wanna know what's crazy? The current administration literally walks in and announces a project called Stargate, the name of the movie I just watched. And then to top it all off, guess who was ran by? Oracle. And if you don't think that's crazy, the next year, the government started releasing UFO files. Bro, we got people under oath right now testifying that the government recovered non-human life forms. Not only that, but the government got spacecrafts or seen spacecrafts that they never seen before. Under oath. And they calling them aliens. And y'all keep telling me this Bible not real. Stop playing. Paul literally wrote in Ephesians 6:12. He said we don't wrestle against flesh and blood, but wicked rulers of evil authorities in the unseen world, against mighty powers in this dark world, and against evil spirits in heavenly places. And then what the devil tells Jesus in Luke 4. Satan took Jesus on top of the mountain and said, I'll give you all these kingdoms because they are mine to give. You want to know what's so crazy about this verse? Jesus did not deny that junk. He didn't say, oh, this is my father's. Jesus was like, no. That's why in John 12:31, he said he is the ruler of this world. So when we talking about Satan being the prince of the air or the prince of this world, what are we talking about? Radio waves, Wi-Fi, internet, Starlink, satellites over your head. All of this is under Satan's control, bro. And if you read the Bible, remember in Daniel 10, when there was a principality assigned over a specific nation, I think it was Persia, right? Persia and Greece. Check that out. Solomon literally states, ain't nothing new under the sun. The same stuff that was going on back then is happening right now. We got principalities over certain parts of this world, certain territories, certain oceans, and of course the skies. Did y'all know that we got spiritual lines drawn all across this world? And what these ley lines do is connect ancient ruins or ancient site and connect them to today's holy site or significant sites. We got Egyptian obelisks in Rome. We got Egyptian obelisks in Washington, D.C., and New York. Almost every ancient culture drew these exact same lines. Look at the ARPANET in 1969. Look at Starlink today. It's literally a web. Whatever these ancient cultures was doing and drawing back in the day, we literally just built it in the skies and on this internet, physically. Now look, I ain't telling you what to believe, and I never ever was the one to force religion down your throat, right? But in Matthew 24, Jesus literally said, when the Son of Man return, it'll be just like in the days of Noah. And what happened in the days of Noah? We got giants. We got a whole bunch of wickedness right now that's running rampant on this earth. And God had to wipe it out and start it all over. Now I want y'all to look around, do y'all own research. We got the same obelisk, same eye, same pyramid, same towers, same webs, implanting chips in people's heads, man mixing with technology, biotech, money you ain't gonna be able to touch or buy, digital money, a pope unifying all religions. Bro, America is literally the new spiritual Babylon. We don't wrestle against flesh and blood. We not fighting against skin and bone. I truly believe these corporations, these companies are literally trying to open up a spiritual portal of some sort to fight God. And of course, in the end, we win. We marry Christ. If you don't believe in Jesus Christ, look at the Bible, look at everything I'm telling you. And I want you to come to that conclusion that Jesus is King. And He's coming back very soon. Everything I just told y'all, everything in this mini-series. Jesus Christ is the Son of God. And whoever believes in Him will not perish but have everlasting life. Now you don't got no choice to say that you never heard the gospel. The beast system might be here quicker than you knew it. So get right with Him.
You'll remember that President Lincoln was assassinated by a Jesuit. Mm-hmm. That was in order to prevent the greenback dollars that Lincoln had issued directly by the Treasury Department. And so what happened was the bank of that day was then able to continue to earn interest on the currency of the United States. That was why he was assassinated. And the reason why we had that second constitution enacted in 1871 is that is when the Revolutionary War debts fell due. As a matter of fact, one day I opened my mail and somebody mailed me the financing statement for those debts that, together with the unpaid interest on the debts, had accrued to the trillions of dollars.
Now, the concept of a secret constitution, some people might cry foul there. I don't believe a word you're saying because I've never heard of such a thing. How can those claims be substantiated?
Two ways. The first is that I will show you the minutes of the meeting of the patriots who met and looked at the State House records in Carolina when that secret constitution was enacted. And I can show you the financing statements for the Revolutionary War debt. That was the reason we got that second secret constitution.
So is that second secret constitution, who is it in favor of? Is it in favor of the people or the corporate United States?
It's in favor of the banks. It's certainly not in favor of the people. What happens when you have a child is your child is given a Social Security number. They estimate how many taxes your child is going to pay over his or her lifetime. And they take that birth certificate and they issue it on the capital markets and they earn money on it.
Okay, so what you're saying is that the birth certificate itself creates a monetary value on the books with the Federal Reserve?
I'm saying something much worse, actually. What I'm saying is that when every citizen goes into the court system, they are not seen there as themselves a U.S. citizen. They're seen as the person who had their birth certificate pledged. You're there as a debtor. You're not there as a citizen.
So, because of the national debt, are you saying that Americans they're just born into debt and there's nothing that they can really do about it? They're debtors in this system.
We have been converted from human beings that are citizens of the Republic of the United States into chattel. Chattel, that is a legal term for something which is property. We are now considered to be property of the Federal Reserve. We're not considered to be human beings and citizens of the United States.
That's a very strong statement. How do we reverse that? If that is in fact the true statement, how do we reverse that?
The first thing we do is we recognize it. We understand it. And then the second thing we do is we have that constitutional convention, which is our right under our first constitution, and we repeal that banker's constitution. We repeal it, we get rid of it, we do not want it, we do not need it, and we issue our treasury dollars backed by the gold out of the collateral account that has been offered to us.
You think back to when the 16th Amendment was passed. Even though it was passed illegally and it wasn't properly ratified by 3/4 of states, it still became an amendment, and we now are under an income tax system. So if you think about 3/4 of the states ratifying an Article 5 convention, do you believe that the money powers could have influence in that process?
I would simply ask your viewers to take a good look at whether we have a second secret constitution, how we got that constitution, and whether we in the United States have the wherewithal to throw off those shackles. And if we don't, we deserve them.
So where is the second constitution? Where is it? Where do they keep it? What does it say?
The second constitution consists of the fact that we are paying interest on our debt when we could simply have clean treasury dollars backed by gold.
Is it a constitution in the same sense that we understand our constitution as today? Now, when I think of the constitution, I think of old parchment and handwritten script, and I think of the founding fathers and writing this document out. So when I think of a second constitution, is it fair to say that is this another document that written in the same manner, or is it? Help me visualize what this document says.
What it is it's the Act of 1871, where Maryland and Virginia created this square mile of the District of Columbia, and then they incorporated the United States as a company, and they made the President of the United States the Chief Executive Officer. And they made the representatives of Congress managers. And so when people come to Congress, they're taught very quickly that their constituents are not what it's all about. What it's all about is for them to get on the dole of the federal government, which is there to enslave the people who live in the United States. That's what that is.
So is it fair to call it a constitution then, or is it more or less when Maryland and Virginia created Washington D.C. as its own district of Columbia as we know it today?
Well, it's more than that, because the federal courts, the judges, are not sitting there in courts of equity. They're secretly treating us as if we are property of the United States. When we come in there, we are not there in a court of equity. So yes, it is a different arrangement with our government.
This secret constitution, is it really more of a corporate document?
What it means is that when you go to court to protect your rights, you don't even get to first base, because that judge is not sitting in what you call a court of equity. They're not looking at you as if you're a citizen of the United States. They're handling you as if you're a person who's just servicing the debt of the United States. You're there as a thing.
So if you're just a thing in a courtroom that's servicing debt,
so what it looked like to me is that we don't own ourselves. Somebody else owns us. You know what I'm saying? From birth, we're just an account. And they're making money off of us while we stay poor. So I've heard before that our Social Security number ain't nothing but a bank account number anyway. So that's, you know what I'm saying? That's what I guess that's what's happening with us right now. You know, we just bank account numbers, and we're stock, bonds for other people other than ourselves. Okay? Alright. This is Fearen Files. Once again, questioning everything. But look into this for yourself. Find out what's real and what's not. Alright, Fearen Files once again. I'm signing out. Peace.